Morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome. I'm your host, Uncle B. I am your pilot, Uncle B. Today we are departing from Karachi and heading to Jodhpur in India. So Pakistan to India. It's going to be about a 329 nautical mile flight. We're going to take off from down over here. I was hoping that we were going to have our runway departure would be right. Down over here, but apparently that's wishful thinking. So, yeah. So we'll wait a little bit, see if anybody's going to join us. I am on the North Europe server, I believe. We'll look at that here in just a second. I should have started the plane up earlier, and I got sidetracked looking at a few other things that caught my eye as I was looking ahead. All right. So let's we got a bit of a travel down to our departure runway. I'm going to go ahead and we'll make our way there. Since my co-pilot did not see, we're 25 left is departing to the west.
Karachi Ground Jumpers Delta, Charlie Delta Lima Hotel, and Sierra request taxi for takeoff west departure.
Jumpers Delta, Charlie Delta Lima Hotel taxi to and hold short of runway 25 left using taxiway Alpha.
Hello, Amela. How are you? Would you like to fly with me today? Or are you going to have to sit this one out also? If you have to, that's fine. It's no big deal. But if you want to fly, happy to get you in here. Hello, Joseph. Just coming in right now. Okay, I'm fine. Yeah, good to go. I'll once you're in, let me know and I'll invite you to the group. Now it's saying it's supposed to be about a 5-hour flight. I don't think it's going to take 5 hours. It's probably going to take maybe 3.5, maybe 3. I'm not sure, but it should not take 5 hours for us to cross over 329 nautical miles, so but we'll see. I'm hoping that's not the case. Perfect. The big question is Joseph looking forward to the flight? Yeah, it was good helping Mick out on the farm yesterday. Got quite a bit done. Well, I tell you, it was so hot yesterday. I was, it just zapped my energy. Like I was just sitting here. I was really tired. Could not. I was starting to get. I felt like I was getting ready to nod off. So It was, but we got a lot done. Well, here it was muggy because we may get rain today because it does kind of look like we're going to get another storm. But yeah, it was just really, ugh. That's all right. But I had something to eat, and then I just kind of relaxed and uh, yeah, we got quite a bit done yesterday.
Delta, Charlie Delta Lima Hotel, ready for departure to the west at runway 25 left.
Jumpers Delta, Charlie Delta Lima Hotel altimeter 29er, showing 269er, entry. Departure to the west approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 25 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 25 left, Jumpers Delta Lima Hotel.
Okay. Let me see if Amila's here yet. Oops. Mick is online. I thought Mick was not coming in. Mick is online. I don't know if he's flying with us today, though. Mick, if you're here, are you flying with me today or no? Let me know. We are on the North Europe server, Amela. North Europe. I should be showing online. But I see Mick is online. I don't know if Mick is joining us or not. Waiting to find out from Mick. I think Mick's here. Well, he said he might, but he wasn't 100% sure. So I'm just trying to find out. I think he's in the chat. No, you can fly whatever you want, Amela. I'm flying this old, slow 1930s plane, but if you want to fly something else, you're more than welcome to. But we're heading from Karachi to Jodhpur. 329 nautical miles on a heading of 073. So if you find it's OPKC. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. I always do that for some reason. That's our departure airport, and then that's the arrival airport. So, I know he said that, Joseph, but I don't. He also had like family stuff going on, so I'll shoot him an invite. I think he's in the chat. He just hasn't said anything. Or I don't know if he's just flying on his own or what. See, I can't even. There we go. Now invite sent. So I'm just waiting. I just need Amela to pop on. Amela, you gotta. Okay, I guess he is flying with me today. Runway 25 left there, Mick. I think he's in the chat. He's just not said anything yet. Oh, I might have accidentally. It's catching up, Mick. Sorry about that. He might be. It's okay, Joseph. He'll come in when he's ready. He might just be trying to get in here with us. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. We got it. Okay, no worries. That's fine, Amela. Just let me know when you're in. Make sure you accept my friend request, and then I can send you a group invitation. So we're fine. We're not in any particular rush. I don't have anything major going on today, other than trying to stay cool and if it rains, stay dry. So we got plenty of time. So. That's why I start a little bit early, so that way if anybody wants to pop in, they can do so. Oh, that's okay. No worries. No worries at all. I'm looking for Mick. I don't see him here yet. He's in my group. He might be changing planes. I don't know. We might be on a nice quiet server today. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Let me just make sure everybody's on the. Oh, God bless it. All right, North Europe server is our server. It's like a. All right. I don't see Mick. He might be on the other server. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. So, heading at 073 degrees for 329 nautical miles. It's a straight shot to Jodhpur. We're not going to be turning left, right, or anything like that. But when we're about 20 to 30 nautical miles from Jodhpur, I'll call in. Then we'll know how far we are. And by then we'll know it's time to start descending, start slowing down, and line up for our runway. And then we'll be on the ground. So yeah, just waiting on Amela. Pairing up controllers. That I do not know, Amela. You'd have to talk to, I would say the forums would probably be your best place to look up that sort of thing. Are you on the PC or on the Xbox, Amela? I think you said you were flying on the PC again. So yeah, that's a little bit beyond my technical expertise. Sorry. Yeah, I know Mick. I know Joseph. I got him. I see him. I got it. It's okay. It's all under control, Joseph. Oh, Xbox. Just all you got to. Are you using the standard controller or are you using a flight stick and all that? Because I think you have to go into the controller options, and then you have to map out your controllers. So it would show if you had that, it would or like a flight stick or something. Then it would show that, and then you would have to map out your stuff. Then you don't have to do anything. No altitude, Mick. I'd say, well, for you could go like, I'd say 6,000 feet. You should be fine. It's going to be fairly flat, I think, this flight. So about 6,000 feet should be sufficient. So yeah, if you're just using the standard controller, it should be already mapped. A is your throttle, B is your, so A is like the throttle, throttle goes up, B throttle goes down, X is your brakes, Y activates or deactivates your autopilot if you have an autopilot. A and B together turns off will bring the engines to idle. So yeah, and then your triggers, your left and right triggers are your rudders, and then this control or left, yeah, that's like your camera control. So yeah, it should be fairly straightforward. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out here and get on the runway. Yeah, it should be already mapped out, Amela. Unless it's like you can change it depending on which is easier for you to get to, depending on which is your dominant hand. But I don't think it really matters much. Because you can't shift the buttons, or I mean, you can in a way, but the way that it's already mapped out is actually pretty decent. So let me see if Amela's here. The server, and I'll get an invite into Amela. Oh, okay. You're using the mouse now too. Okay. Yeah, that I'm not sure how to. Let's get you in here. Let's see if you are showing. I don't think you're showing online, Mela. I don't see your name on my list here. Let me go under disconnected and see if I can see you there. Nope. You got to accept my friend request there, Amela, and I can get you on the server with us. Where did Mick go? Mick was just here. Where did he go? You playing grid this morning and you hate it. Why? Okay. Why are you playing it if you hate it, Joseph? I don't quite that sort of mentality. I don't understand it, to be honest. And I'm not trying to have a go at you, but it it doesn't make sense to me. If you don't like the game, why would you play it? Okay, now I cannot. All right, there we go. Oop. There we go. All right, now there's Mick. Okay, lost him for a second there. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. If you hate a game, why do you play it? I don't understand that sort of line of thinking, Joseph. Because all it does is it just upsets you. What's the point in that? So you thought you'd try it because you've not played it in a long time, and then you discovered you hate it still. I don't know, Joseph. I don't know. All right, we're just waiting on Amela. I know if I hate a game that much, I just delete it. It should, but just double check. Under your name, it should say North Europe. It should automatically, but double check. Or yeah, check it to make sure you're on the North Europe server. Sorry, folks, I keep. So once Amela. Okay. So I sent Amela. You just have to accept the invitation that I sent you, and then you should be. It should bring you over to the server. I think you just have to accept the invitation I sent you to join the group. Now, for a moment, when I first started it up this morning and I was getting everything ready, it did have me taking off from the other end, going the way we want to go. And then when I checked it again, it swapped over. Yeah, it automatically switches. Okay, so then just accept my invite to the group there, Amela, and then it'll swap you over to the correct server. Thank you, Mick. What was I gonna say? I forgot where I was. Oh, so yeah, it when I reset the flight plan to make sure everything was ready, it automatically brought me back to 25 left for our departure runway. So I should have left it alone, but something wasn't working right, and then when I changed it to make sure everything was correct, then it decided, no, let's do something different. Let's be different today. Let's make them take off. I think that's like the standard thing. You take off away from your destination, and because you got to clear out the runway and all that. So, clear out for other traffic. So, just waiting on Amela to accept the invite. Yeah, it shows that you're in the group. You just gotta accept that invite, Amela. And then you're all set. Once we hear from Amela, we'll get ready to go. Miller might still be looking for a plane, I don't know. Now in the future, if anybody does want to fly with me, but they're not sure what would be an appropriate plane, we can, if you message me on the Discord, we can sort that out. Or if you get into the chat right away when I first go live, then we have time to kind of go over that. Otherwise, I always encourage you to fly whatever you feel most comfortable flying. That's the important part. I'll meet you. Okay. All right, let's go, Mick. Miller says he'll meet us in the air. Away we go. Coming down your right side there, Mick. That's still not showing the Spitfire. There we go. Plane takes off all on its own. Having hardware issues. Okay. And away we go from Karachi. Ah, God bless. Of course, it gets on the radio as soon as I go to take a picture. Oh, oh my goodness! You're killing me. All right, there we go. Fine. All right. Let's go this way. It's okay. It happens. It's all right. All right, there we go. We're on our way now. Let's have a look back here. See if we see, where does Mick at? I don't see Mick. I don't see Mick in the air. I don't see Mick anywhere. What happened to Mick? Terrific. Mick was here and now Mick is gone. Outstanding. Where is... Hold on a second. Let me... I think the north... Okay. Saying he's on the server, but I do not see Mick any... Oh! There he is! I feel like I'm always certain. It's like, where did Mick go? I'm looking all over the place except to my left. But I'm thinking he's still climbing out over the airport. Okay, gotcha, Mick. Here we go. All right. Flaps up. There's Mick over there. Oh, I know what the problem is. There's a VOR DME behind us. That's why that one there. Hmm. 620. Let me double check my numbers. Yep, perfect. All right. So quick reminder, folks, tomorrow, no flight, no streams. I will be gone most of the day, I believe. Not sure what time. Oh, don't worry about Amela, it happens. It's fine. It's quite alright. Stuff happens, it's okay. So we're all in crazy turns when all I did was throttle back so we can kind of start leveling off here a bit. So yeah, no flight tomorrow, no stream tomorrow. I will be gone. I may do, I don't know what I will do yet. Oh, got the localizer from the airport. There we go. Picking that up. Yeah, I may do a flight later this afternoon. Depends on how long this flight actually lasts. If it does last the entire 5 hours, then there's no way we're going to do another flight today. But yeah, hopefully. But if not, we'll do a fun little flight somewhere. I don't know where yet. But if not, then we'll see you back on Friday. Friday, I will be flying the L-19. I'll show you guys the plane that I'm going to be flying on Friday. We're going to take off on the water, land on the water. We're going to do a floater plane kind of flight. So if anybody wants to join with that, if you have a floater plane, you're more than welcome to join in. Or wants to fly, take off and land on the water, you're more than welcome to join in. So one of the things I need to start doing, or what I want to start doing, folks, is I need to start tracking, because even though we have some of this fancy navigation equipment here where we can dial in some things, and we have this other device here that once we hear or pick up the DME, it'll tell us about how much farther we've got to go on the flight. I'm guessing in 329, so it's 160 something nautical miles to our so I'm guessing at about 162 nautical miles is when we're going to pick up our DME, probably about halfway there. But I need to get in the habit. One of the things that I've been trying to watch how Captain Arish does it. And again, if anybody wants to learn more about navigating, especially without GPS, check out Captain Arish. Celestial navigation, just VFR, knowing where you are and everything. Full of knowledge, and he's definitely, if you don't grasp the concept right away, he'll keep working with you until you have a better understanding. One of the things that I should be doing, and I've developed a bad habit of not doing it, is I need to time from when we take off. I need to start my stopwatch, basically my chronometer, so I know how long we've been in the air. Then I could say, okay, so there goes Mick. He's blasting ahead there in the Spitfire. Mick is going to definitely go way faster than me today. That's okay. I'm just going to slowly plugging along here. Nice, some interesting landscape here in Pakistan. You don't think of like a seaside area for Pakistan. But anyway, so I need to be getting into the habit of that. I don't have, so that way I know how long we've been flying, and then I can say, okay, we've got this much distance covered already, and then this is how much left we have to go. Now I'm guesstimating here. We should have, oh, yeah, sure, Mela. Hold on just a second. There you go. There should be an airport to our left at about 75 nautical miles from our departure. So that's a rough estimate based on, because I was watching, there's a person I follow on YouTube, I can't remember the name of the channel, but it's all aviation related stuff. Now it can apply to if you're studying to be a real life pilot, or it does apply in many ways to sim pilots. And he was talking about there's lines, kind of like it reminded me a bit of the grid square system for when I did land navigation in the military, because you have a certain size map, and then you're welcome, Mela. Each square is like 1,000. Is it 1,000 meter square? Yeah, 1,000 meter grid square, and then so you know roughly how many, where you are within that grid square. The more numbers you have, the more precise you are. If you have like four numbers, it could be, it's not very precise. 6 numbers, you're more precise. 8 numbers, you should be spot on. So on the nautical charts, or at the not nautical aviation charts, there's a dash. Each dash is 1 nautical mile. So it's broken up into 10 nautical mile blocks. So I guesstimated about 75 nautical miles we should be near that airport. Not right near it, but we should be able to see it kind of off to the left. So if we can see that, then we know we've already covered 75 nautical miles. So one of my goals is, now if it doesn't mean that everybody else has to do it, I just want to do it for my own knowledge, different ways of navigating. Like I couldn't do the celestial navigation because the way Captain Arj does it on Saturdays when he flies with Allison, he has a program that he can use that is in conjunction with their flying on the PC side. But I definitely need to do more of the keeping track of my time, so I know roughly how far I've flown and all that, so that I don't have. I don't necessarily have to rely on a device like this. I can validate my information regardless. And the reason why I say that is, in the Army, we got used to GPS systems. Everything's, yes, North Europe, Bella. North Europe server. If you accept the invite, it should automatically bring you over to the server. So we got used to all this technology. And so many people kind of did not remember how to navigate with a compass and a map and a protractor. So, because if you can't always rely on that GPS stuff, right? Technology fails all the time. Batteries run dead, so you can't always expect to be, on that, using that system. So I shouldn't always expect to use the VFR map. It does help, so we kind of know where we are, and I can look at the stuff on SkyVector. I'll tell you now, and it doesn't cost you anything. SkyVector, you can use it for free. Don't create an account because it's not for sim pilots. Okay, but you can use it. You can put in your departure airport and your destination airport, at least if you're just doing VFR flying or VOR to VOR, like what I've been doing for a lot of our flights. And it'll give you all the information. It'll tell you which your heading needs to be, your how far from point to point, roughly. Now, the thing that I noticed too is what is in SkyVector is not always going to be the same as it is in the sim. Like our destination at Jodhpur, that is an airbase in India. So it doesn't recognize the airport code in SkyVector. But it does recognize the VOR DME right next to the airport, or to the nearby Jodhpur airbase. So that can give me an idea of how far I have to go to get to Jodhpur. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work. Um, can I see you? Hold on, let me take a look around. Yep, there you are. I see you, Mela. In the King Air 350i. Nice. I feel like I'm old and slow now. Mick's in the Spitfire, Mela's in the 350i. I'm just plugging along here at 102 knots. They're gonna leave me behind here in a moment, which is fine. You guys do what you got to do. Enjoy the flying. That's all that matters. So yeah, we got a little group of 3 here. I like it. Mick is my fighter escort way out front. There we go, yeah. Yeah, if you want to just hang around about 5,000 feet, Amela, it's fine. Or if you, however you want to do it, it's up to you. I don't expect we need to go very high today because it should be, other than like this little area, there might be some very low mountains. Other than that, it should be fairly flat. Not too much to have to fly way up over. Okay, so if you press in on your left stick, you see the clouds. I set it to clear skies, but I have that the preset weather thing. I bought that. I'm clear. There you go, Mick. Thank you. It's like a preset weather, so that you can have pretty much any kind of weather. You can have like zero visibility and all kinds of stuff, snow, rain, fog, all kinds of stuff with that. It's pretty handy because that way you can just, or I think for you could just turn off the live weather and it should clear it up. That's the other way to do it if I remember correctly. If you want to change the weather. I think that's how I used to do it. But this other one, like it can give you all kinds of different. You can have clouds. You can have them high, low, scattered, a few. All kinds of different stuff. You could have Addie's weather, where it's hot and humid and you're miserable. Wait a minute, that's weather pretty much almost everywhere nowadays, it seems like. At least for right now. Yeah, so that does help out quite a bit. It's a nice thing to have, but otherwise you could just turn off the live weather and it should just clear it up. If it's cloudy or whatever. But your plane, you can fly IFR and not worry about the weather. There goes Amila zipping by. I feel like I'm just standing still here. It's like when the AI passes Mick on F1, he just feels like he's too slow and they just go zipping by like he's not even there. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, I need to get in the habit of doing that, of timing, so I know roughly how far we've flown. Now I can kind of guesstimate where we are. If I look at I see this body of water over here, and I can look at my Sky Vector. Sky Vector doesn't cost you anything. It's a great tool to have. You just go to the website and all that. So I see this, so we must be about here. So we're getting close to that 75 nautical miles, and then we should see OPKR is our that airport that will be to our immediate left eventually. Getting off track here. it seems at first we have this kind of really bumpy weather. The wind is kind of pushing us all over the place, and then eventually, suddenly, it settles down somehow. So, got 7 viewers. Come in and say hello, folks. It's all good. Don't be shy. Yep, I see you right in front of me, Amela. Right there. I can see you. I see you and Mick in front of me. Yep. Yep, I got you. So yeah, I just got to get in the habit. I think what I'm going to do... Monday, when our next leg from Jodhpur to Agra, that's 270 nautical miles. I need to get in the habit of timing myself so I know roughly how long we've been flying, and then I can estimate how much farther we got to go and stuff like that. Yeah, so if anybody flies with me any of the day of the week, fly whatever you feel comfortable with. Just know that I'm going to be, sometimes I'm going to be in a slower plane like I am today, but if you want to fly other things instead of what I'm flying, or if you don't have what I'm flying, fly whatever you feel comfortable with. You know, like when I've flown with Captain Arish, there's some people who don't even follow. They take off and they go directly to the destination airport. They don't even follow the flight plan that he's created to go over points of interest and stuff like that. So yeah, some people get there quickly and then they're done. And then they just sit back and relax and watch the rest of the flight. But I like to see some of the points of interest, and especially if there's bridges that I can think about flying under, or fly under if you know, if it looks like I can do it, I'll do it. But yeah, missing, you know, some people just miss the whole. Well, it's their choice, I guess, in the end. So, all right. I'd feel kind of let down though if I if I wanted to fly with Captain Arish and I take off and I go right to the destination airport, and it's like very quick, and then like, okay, now what? Well, if I'd flown with him actually, then the flight would have, 12 o'clock and going. Yep. But it's nice to have a few more people in. The whole intent, folks, is if you want to fly, you can fly. No, there's a autopilot system there, Amela. You can dial in the altitude and a heading of 073 and hit the autopilot, and the autopilot will say you want to stay at 2,500 feet. You can put that in, and then also put in like that heading of 073. Hit the autopilot, and the autopilot will just take care of everything. All you got to do is worry about the throttle. You can just adjust your speed or your throttle as necessary, and that's about it. So, no, it's got an autopilot. Well, you can fly it manually, but you have an autopilot system in that 350i. Matter of fact, if you want, I know. Hold on, let me look ahead here in the crystal ball. On on the 21st of July, there's a airport called Mountain Air, and we're going from there to Chattanooga in the 350i. So if you want to fly along on that one, Mela, you're more than welcome to, in the 350i. And I'll show you how to set up the autopilot. Because what's going to happen is for that airport, it's a private airport up in the hills of, I think, North Carolina. And we're going to take off, we're going to go downhill, take off, and then we're going to hang a left. And then once we're kind of going the way we want to go, I'm going to hit the autopilot, and it'll take us to our cruising altitude, put us online with our flight plan, and then we'll be good to go all the way from there to Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, but it's going to be very scenic. We may just have a few clouds, but if we're going to be flying autopilot, it's not going to matter. But I'll show you how to set that all up as well if you want to, Amela. So that's the whole point. If you want to learn, now granted some people want to learn how to fly manually, and I highly suggest if you want to, but even, well, once usually when I'm flying with Captain Arsh, he does use the autopilot system, and he only goes manually if there's like an area he wants to get closer to, but he has a nice flight setup, then he can, fly a lot better than I can, although I can do okay with the controller, but it can be a bit tough. My thumb gets tired after a while. But but generally, yeah, it's fairly easy. But if you don't want to fly that way, you just want to follow along, and you want to try it manually, you're more than welcome to. If you can do that, or if you want to try that. So, all right, there's that water. So the airport that we're looking for should be up ahead, somewhere up over here. I am going to take a quick step away for a moment, folks. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Of course, I started turning more to the left. All right. Let's see. So, if my all right. So, biggest, yeah, it's just sometimes there's just that a little bit of a crosswind that causes you to go off course a little bit. So that's fine. So if my estimation is correct, and we get to that airport, roughly 75 nautical miles have passed, then we have 254 nautical miles to our destination. So, so we know roughly we still got some ways to go. And if we're flying at let me look at that stuff here. Let's add a little bit more. That. I don't think this is really impacting anything because I don't have the failure stuff on, but it's better to. I might need to go to 35 just to get the safe stuff. Just so that I know what what it impacts. Eventually we will fly with all the failures and such. All right, so let's have a look at. Okay, so we're still by that. So that airport, I think, is probably up near where Mick is. I'm guesstimating. He might be able to see that airport all the way up there. If you can, Mick, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't have to tell me. I'm just kind of guessing where everything is and trying to. One of the things that I loved land nav, right? When I was in the military, because it's one of those things that it's the most. What do you call it? It's a thing. It's a thing. You're not really relying on anybody else. You have your compass and your map and your protractor, and it's up to you to find your points. Like at the very basic level leadership course, at least when I went through back in the day, you had to find 4 points. A minimum, I think, in order to pass, you had to find 3 of your 4, but there was 4 points to find, and I found all 4 of mine first try. I shot my first azimuth, because you take your compass and you shoot an azimuth, and then you convert it to on your map, and then you say, okay, I gotta go this direction. Not so much by distance, but just the direction. And then you're like, okay, based on what I see, I'm in the right area. Now I just have to find my exact point. It was like a little post with a number on it, and you had to write down the number. And then that corresponded to what 4 points you were assigned, and if you got the right number, then you were good to go. But after the first one, the rest of them I just did terrain association. Like, okay, I see this mountain or hill over here, and I see this lake down here, and so you kind of know where you are, and you say, okay, I got to go between that hill and the lake. I got to go that direction, and I should find my next point. And so I found all 4 of them, and it was like it seems complicated, but it's not. It can be very simple, but if you overthink it, of course, then it becomes very frustrating. But yeah, I really enjoyed all that, navigating without, once you kind of know the area, you say, okay, I see this and I see this, and okay, I must be right about here. It's a great feeling to be able to navigate that way. So there's that river. Let's see if I can find that. We should be almost at the. Yep. So the airport should be just over here somewhere. Matter of fact, we should be almost right. Shouldn't be flying right over it, but we should be able to see. There's that part. Alright, I know roughly where. Okay. I know where we are roughly. Oops, turning too much again. Interesting that. Okay, this looks like water as well, but the water there's blue, and then all through here it looks all yucky. I don't know why that is. What's the difference up here to down here? Alright, so there's that part. Okay, so yeah, I know roughly where we are now. Oh my goodness, we are just getting pushed all over the place today. So the airport should be roughly, I think, right. It looks like an airport right there. So now that we see that, we should have about 254 nautical miles left on our trip. So 254, 254 divided by, say, 100. We should have about 2.5, almost 3 hours left on the flight. Or just say 3 hours, because it's like 2.54. We'll just round it up and say about 3 hours left. But we may get there quicker. It just depends. Sometimes we get a nice tailwind, and we do pretty good with the speed. So yeah, that should be the airport right there. That little looks like a runway right there. It's right next to the water. Yeah, that should be it right there. All right. So roughly 254 nautical miles left on our journey today. Alright, so yeah, we're just cruising along here. So I'm guessing this is all, a lot of this is like sand. That's what it kind of looks like. There's the river itself, or some kind of a waterway, and then certain times of the year it's just all sandy and all that. This looks like it used to be some kind of a waterway down here. It's now dried up. It almost looks like, I guess if it rains really bad, then this all gets filled up with water. But otherwise you get this little bit of, that's it. All right. Oh, nice, Amela. Good. Nothing wrong with that. Do what you feel most comfortable doing. It's quite all right. That's the important thing. As long as you don't run into Mick and cause him to crash too. Actually, no, there's no way you can do that. There's no... You would fly right through him, but yeah, there's no crashing or anything. Other than if you just run into the ground on your own, but you can't, like, force people out of the sky or anything like that. Just having a look there at the I think we're now officially in India. I think. If not, we're pretty close to the border. But I think we're already in India. If not, we will be soon. Yeah, that's the only good thing about this versus ETS and ATS. You can't cause the carnage unless you cause it yourself for yourself. Well, I shouldn't say that because sometimes the sim has its own agenda. Almost like what happened with Mick yesterday. The sim was like, "No, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're along for the ride, buddy." So, but thank you both for coming in and flying today. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the 7 viewers. All of whom seem to be too worried about saying hi in the chat for whatever reasons. I don't know why. But it's fine. Yeah, it happens. Well, at least the autopilot will. If you have a heading kind of set, the autopilot should keep correcting you to stay on the track. There you go. Mick says hello, passengers. I don't think that's gonna get them talking either, Mick. Unfortunately. Anyways, it says I overstressed. Oh, you have everything on correctly. Oh, yep. Okay, so Mila has all the stuff on. Okay. Yeah, you have. If you're gonna have everything like real life, it will. Yeah, you can easily overstress your engine. Because that's why you have to watch your. You have to kind of come off your throttle after a point, and just kind of cruise. Otherwise, yeah, you'll blow your engine. Mello's last known location, around here somewhere. Now, if you want to join back in, Amilla, that other airport that's not too far behind us is OPKD, and you can just take off from there and catch back up with us if you want. Yeah, if you... Oh, Amilla's back in. C25C. I'm trying to think what that is. C25C. I don't know what aircraft that is. But yeah, you have to watch your speeds. You have to watch everything. Otherwise, you can easily blow the engine. It's a Cessna 2. I don't know what that would be. Anyways. Put those signs on. Uh-oh. Starting to... little bit of buffering. Now we just got to get Addies in here. Addies, you want to go flying sometime? See if you can run into a Mela in the air. Alright, we still haven't picked up that. I think we still got a bit more to go. Now there is a what was it? Either an NDB, a non-directional beacon, or a ADF, auto or direction finder. I think it's an automatic direction finder or something like that. If I remember, I might be wrong. Don't quote me on it. That I think is roughly the halfway point on our flight today. I think it might be a little bit before half. Zoom out here. Yeah, I don't think it's quite halfway. Oh my goodness, but we're not too far off from halfway. Once we get to that point, I'll see it. As KE, so I should see that on my little VFR map. I should be flying like right near it, like very near. Now I think I can go ahead and actually tune that in. Come on. So I think it's it should be an 80 though. I don't think Joseph heard me. We've got a lot of wind today. So yeah, before we finish things up for today, I'll show you the plane we're gonna fly on Friday. Just a quick reminder: no flight tomorrow, no stream tomorrow. Don't know how. I don't know what time I'm even gonna get home tomorrow. I had to go to Syracuse for a doctor's appointment. It happened again. Oh, Mela, you gotta really you gotta get off your throttle a bit, and then also if you have um, like prop feathering, you gotta get back on the, you gotta feather the props a bit to, yeah. It's very easy. You take off and you're just like, I'm just gonna go as fast as possible, and then it, yeah. You end up blowing the engine again. You got to be very careful if you're gonna have the stuff on, all the failures and everything. You got to really kind of pay attention to the. You can turn that all off, Emil, in your settings. Sorry, folks. In your assistance up here under air failures and damage, you can disable all that stuff. So that way you don't have to worry about it. If you just want to fly and not worry about stuff failing on you. Yeah. If you just want to fly and not worry about all that, you can, if that's what you want to do. There we go. So we are tuned into the ADF. Perfect. What does ADF stand for? Automatic direction finder. There we go. So there we go. We are tuned into the automatic direction finder. As long as we keep going the needle pointing straight, then we know we're heading towards that automatic direction finder. It just won't tell us how far we have to go to get there. I just saw you a moment ago. There you are, Mela. Gotcha. Let's keep an account. Some kind of a waterway there, huh? Yes, I can see you, Amela. I got you. I think we're getting closer to that ADF, automatic direction finder. Yeah, I think you're in the G36. I think. But remember, now that you're airborne, just come off the throttle a little bit. Just come, look at your out here. If you look and you see like dials like this, I know you'll see one of them because it's a single engine. Just kind of get your stuff here in the green, and you should be okay. Unless you turned off the failures, I don't know if you did or not, but it's good practice just to keep things in the green, and then you should be fine. And you could also you could feather the props a little bit just so that you don't, you'll still be up in the air, you'll still make good speed, because that's a pretty fast little aircraft. But that way you're not overstressing the engine. It's just good practice. Alright, it's 6:11 in the evening. Jodhpur. Where's our sun at? How much daylight do we have left? Oh, we got plenty of daylight. Okay. There's that whole thing. Let's have a look here. Let's see that. Okay. I think we're almost at that ADF. Should see it here pretty soon. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out today, middle of the week. Appreciate it. I almost gave myself a paper. I didn't even slide my hand across, finger across the paper. What the heck? Yeah, good stuff. Good flying. Here across India. We should be in India now. Right now, I think. We'll be in India for a few more flights, and then we'll start making our way down along the coast to Indonesia. So we are more than a little over halfway to our destination of Indonesia. Leg 19 today, leg 20 on Monday. There's that part. It's a railway, not a waterway. A river or anything. So yeah, it looks like there's a railway somewhere. Let's see if I can spot it from the air. It looks like irrigation of some kind. Next one that we could possibly turn into 75. That should be another ADF, I think. Okay. Tune into that if we want. Although we won't go right towards it. Well, I guess we could. Actually, we can go 340. We may do that. All right, sorry folks. Just trying to check our navigation. Still working our way towards that ADF there. Still have not picked up the NDB. I think it's low powered, so I don't think we'll get a reading on it until much later. To figure out how much farther we got left to go. But once we pass over this first ADF, we should be roughly halfway there. $164.5. we won't be quite halfway, but we'll be getting pretty close to it. Excuse me. There's Mick, and Amela is right there. Amela just cruising at the ground, just a little bit above the ground. Checking out the scenery. Well, nice to have you along finally, Amela. Why not? It's fairly flat land. You could just kind of cruise at about 1,000 feet and just enjoy the scenery and what there is of it. Nothing wrong with that. I said, you can cruise at about 1,000 feet and just enjoy the scenery. I mean, it seems like this all looks like farmland, essentially. I don't know what they would farm here, but it looks, that's what the area looks like. It's all plots of land for farming. But it also looks very desolate, There's some water, I think, via this area right here, but I don't know, all the, what sort of crops do they grow? What are the, is it like a seasonal thing? Kind of like farming in general is, certain times of the year you can plant your crop, grow it, and harvest it and try to get it sold right away, so it's not rotting or whatever. This looks like it was a very what would you call it? A very I don't even know what word we could use to describe it. Maybe at some point this was very fertile land. I don't know. Never been to India, so I couldn't say. Actually, years ago, so I don't remember when, but I'd been in discussion with a international aid group that they were looking for anybody who had any kind of medical training, and you would go to India for some period of time. They would give you a place to live and stuff like that. I know you got paid, but I don't remember what was what were you expected to get paid? And I'm guessing a lot of it would be based on experience, stuff like that. Whether or not you had if you were a doctor or a nurse, any higher medical training course, you could probably get paid fairly well. but I ended up not pursuing it because I didn't. I don't think I got a good feeling like, we're gonna go here to the, like you were gonna go to one specific location, and that way you kind of knew where you were going and whether or not you'd be safe in that location. So I think generally people who are in foreign countries and you're an aid worker, they usually target you for things, whether it's to kill you or kidnap you and demand ransom. You are you stand out, obviously. Yeah, I wasn't sure really where I would be going and whether or not that area was exactly safe. So yeah, I didn't email the person back any further, but it seemed like an interesting idea, because you could go, I would like to be able to see India, the different parts of it, but I also am not 100% certain that I would be safe either. So, and of course, if they sense that you have a military background, that makes you an even bigger target, because they think that you're not there to do aid work, you're there for military intelligence gathering or something. Right, we still have not found our NDB or our ADF just yet. We have not gotten our signal for our NDB either. So I don't. It's hard to say when we will see things and get a better idea where we are. Oh, we just got it. Okay, we have 194 nautical miles left. So we're not quite at the halfway point, but we're getting there. All right, so now we have an idea of how much we have left to go. Perfect. I like it. So any moment now we should see that ADF. All right, 194 nautical miles at 194 divided by, let's say 100. We have still got quite a bit of ways to go. It says 2.5 hours. I'm guessing is roughly how much time we got left in the air. There we are. We're almost at the halfway point, folks. So, Mick and Amela, if you can't go the whole distance, it's quite all right. It's still right there. There's Amela. But yeah, if you can't go the whole distance, it's completely fine. I will continue flying if. So wait, for an hour 48, but we haven't been flying the whole hour 48. I think we've been flying roughly. I want to say 45 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe closer to an hour now. So we did wait for Amela for a bit, and then I know we got started past 7:30. We might be in the air for about an hour now, so The stream's going to go much longer than the actual flying, I think. We did wait. Mick was online, but I wasn't sure if he was joining us or not because he didn't say anything in the chat. He was running silent, running deep. So, and then of course getting Mela in, Mela was having some technical difficulties. So yeah, I think we've been in the air for about an hour now, actually. So I don't think it's going to take 5 hours. If we've got 2.5 hours left, I could see this being a 3.5 hour flight total. I don't know why we haven't. I should have seen that beacon. That's the thing. I have not seen that. So I don't know if I would. How. It's got to be nearby at some point. We should be able to. It would have been on the map, the VFR map. It would have said the 2 letters. KE, I believe, is the code. Yeah. Ooh, goodness gracious. Look at that, I just take my hand, look away for a moment, and next thing I know, I'm like turning way to the right. Oh my goodness. The wind is having its way with our aircraft today, that is for sure. Here I'm trying to check our navigation. It's got its own plan. Oh, there's something ahead there. That looks like an airport. OPKE. OPKE. Let me see if I can find that. We might have passed over this thing already. I don't see OPKE on my sky vector chart. Oh, wait, that should be right. It says, okay. So KE is the actual. Where's the. Alright, I guess the airport is not on the chart. It might be another military base. Okay. Alright, let's tune into the one I 340. I think that should be an ADF. Okay, so yeah, that one is back over here. Okay. Yep, there's that little airport right there. Let's tune in 340. Okay, that might not be an ADF. Our VORs tuned into. Alright, perfect. That's fine. 180 nautical miles. So that was where that ADF was, right near that airport there behind us. Where did it go? Back there somewhere. So we're not quite at the halfway point yet. Once we get to 164, we're halfway there. I may have to mute myself. I'm expecting a phone call about my appointment tomorrow, so I may have to mute myself and answer that real quick. Shouldn't take very long to confer with the clinic that I have to go to. Right, there is Amela, and there is Mick, cruising along. Just out of curiosity, I don't expect it to be there yet. So we're way, way out. So OP, I think we're still in Pakistan. VI is India. But I don't think we've even crossed over into India yet. It's like predominantly we're flying mostly in Pakistan, and then when we're about that looks like a border. Hold on, let me look here. Oh, maybe not. It's interesting there's no like definition of Pakistani airspace and India airspace. Okay. Look at this interesting. It's almost like, I don't know if this is the wind that did this or if it was rain and wind. Look at the way this land is cut. It's like there's these little valleys right here. I'm guessing those used to have water in them, possibly at some point. Stretches all the way over here, like something was here and then the water just flowed down this way. Maybe vice versa. Maybe it came from here and went the other way. I got 7 people watching. Come on, say hello in the chat. It's all good. No need to lurk. No need to be afraid. Just say hello. I know my voice is all soothing and stuff, but it'd be nice if other folks came in the chat and said hello. Even if you're lurking, to say hi. That's all. It's all good. I promise Mick won't chase you down with the Spitfire. Mello only chase you down if you got food. Addies will chase you down if you say anything against West Ham. Not this time, I will behave myself. Okay, Mick. All right, we are more than halfway there now. Just over the halfway point. Not more than halfway, but we are past the halfway point. So we are on the second half of our flight today. Now, on Monday's flight, just to kind of give everybody a bit of context for you lurkers who may not know what's going on with this flight. So, this is an old KLM route. The Dutch airline company that I think it is now the oldest continuing operational airplane company, airliner and all that stuff. They've been operating since the either late 1920s, early 1930s, something like that. So this was a route that was flown from Amsterdam to Indonesia, which was, back then was the former Dutch East Indies. This was basically a business route. Folks who were part of the Dutch East Indies Trading Company, I think it was. They would fly from Amsterdam. This traditionally they would fly this route in 7 days. The problem is I can't do all the legs in a week. It would just be too much flying for me. So what I've done is I've broken it up. Now the flight on Monday from Jodhpur to Arga, Arga is not an original stop. I put that in to break up the route from Jodhpur to it would have been Allahabad. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Allahabad. I'm probably just really torturing that name. But anyway, so Arga, the place where we're going to on Monday, we're going to be landing right near the Taj Mahal. It was the only airport that I could find that was a reasonable distance from Jodhpur. It kind of broke up that leg between Jodhpur and Allahabad. So some of these stops were not original stops. I just had to put them in so that I could break up the flying into smaller chunks as much as possible. But generally, when you stopped, as you fly from morning until late afternoon, it was only VFR flying. There was no radio. They would obviously talk on the radio, but there was no radio navigation per se, I don't think, in a lot of these areas. So it was all VFR flying. They had to be able to see the land around them so they could pick out the features that they could identify, so they kind of knew where they were. But once the sun started to go down, they would stop for the evening. So wherever they landed, if it was close to it getting dark, they would not take off. You would spend the night there. The intent always was, or if they could, they would land early enough that you could go for a little bit of sightseeing, sample some local cuisine and all that. It was like a mini vacation while you were on your way to do business. A lot of the airports don't exist anymore, or in the case of Jodhpur is now an air base in India. It's not but back in the 1930s it was a regional airport for the city of Jodhpur. So it's interesting that at some point Jodhpur became a military airbase. In that it seems to be a very common thing in most areas that we visited so far, is that a lot of the places that were originally stopped at have almost all of them have in one way or another become military airfields or air bases, whatever. So it's very interesting that back in the 1930s that was not a concern, and then at some point, when did it all change? I'm kind of curious about that. There's Mick doing his thing over there. I don't know what it is that he's doing, but he's doing it. So yeah, it's very interesting that what changed from the 1930s to I don't know if it was like the 1960s, or when did it change that countries felt that it was more important to have military air bases instead of civilian airports. And even, I think, when Amelia Earhart did her flight around the world, a lot of the places that she landed were just regular little airports. you know, and then at some point, a lot of them either went away or became air bases. So it's interesting that back then, the world, for the most part, was more welcoming. I find that interesting. I still don't think I know we're not anywhere near close enough to. Okay, so VIUT, that I think is an airport in India. Somewhere along the route there. So that's farther ahead of us, I think. OPKE is still behind us. It will drop off the list as we get closer, and Udalari will move up the list, I believe. So OPCO is the closest, somewhere around here. So yeah, we're still too far out to contact. I'm going to step away for just a second, folks. I'm going to grab something cold out of the fridge to drink, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Got me a Gatorade out of the fridge. I went next door yesterday and got me a couple bottles of Gatorade. Drink one of them last night. Finished it off this morning before we started flying, and then got another bottle. So I think it was on sale for two for like a couple bucks. So. Thank you all for sticking around today. Very kind of you. I know this isn't the most exciting way of flying. But, yeah, because I way back months ago, I did a route. It was a former Deutsche Lufthansa, not the old Lufthansa. It was, the words were separate. We went from Berlin to Greece to Athens. But when I was thinking about, I'd like to do another historic route, I think somebody suggested the Berlin to Athens. And then I looked to see what KLM routes were, historic routes. So I found this one all the way to the to Indonesia. All right, so we must be getting ready to head over into India. There we go. So we must be getting ready. Oh, I don't know where Varanasi Center is. I think that's in India. It did not give us the. Uh-oh. Oh, what in the deuces? You're eating. Of course you are. Okay, so we lost our ATC. It looks like Azure voices just went offline. Typical. How typical. Okay, well, that should not impact our flight necessarily. I don't think. We're just going to keep going on. We'll keep on keeping on. And just get there as quickly as we can. Well, we can't go much faster than we are already. But we'll keep trucking along here. Yeah. So anyway, KLM route. This seemed to make the most sense. And I thought about it more, and I think I've said this before, and I'm going to repeat it anyway. So when I met Captain Arish, when he raided my channel earlier this year sometime, and then when I found out what he was doing, this trip around the world in the Cessna 172, when I found the KLM route, it was like, it was kind of what Captain Arish was doing kind of inspired me to do this KLM route. But when I looked at the history of it and what they did, that they flew that whole route in a week, I was like, that would be too much. And then I thought, well, if I break it up into smaller chunks, and it's probably a little bit easier to do. And that way I don't have to, toss the plan. So once we get to Indonesia, and that won't be till sometime in August, maybe, yeah, it'll be sometime in August. It should be before the end of August, unless, I'm going to try to avoid changing my flight service meal as well. I may try to find another historic route. But it may not be an American or a route like this. It may be somewhere else, and maybe in a different plane. But I like the vintage thing. I really have enjoyed flying the Junkers 52. The retrofit does help out with the all of our navigation, because it does have all this handy state-of-the-art, more modern navigation stuff. So that has helped out quite a bit. It's the spirit of the flight that I think is more important. Also, for those of you who do not know, so the code here, the DLH, that is the 3-letter code for Deutsche Lufthansa. So in theory, when we do this, they should say Lufthansa. We could have like a flight number like Lufthansa or Lufthansa 1123 kind of thing. It would be better if that was but sometimes the well, I've tried putting on a actual tailcoat from a modern Lufthansa airliner, but I don't think it would work. But we may try it again. I'll try it some other time off stream to see if I can get it to work. It would be like Golf 052 Lima Hotel, I think. Might try that and see if that gives me a I wish we would have a few more liveries, although I know this aircraft predominantly flew during the early years of the Third Reich all the way through World War II, and then Deutsche Lufthansa ceased to exist as an airline company. The two people involved in creating the Lufthansa airliner, there's some at least one of the people involved in the new airline was associated with the Third Reich, but overall and that didn't start until the 50s, so it was almost like what they did was they waited for things to kind of quiet down, I guess, in regards to how the people's anger towards the Third Reich and what they did. So it was like they went almost. It seems to me, and I don't know the history of this person, but I would suspect, and I could be wrong, that what this person did was they kind of hid out somewhere. They just disappeared. They went off the radar, off the grid, whatever you want to call it, and waited, like maybe 5-6 years or so, reappeared, people forgot who they were, and then they applied for this, the new airline name, and then everybody was like, yeah, sure, not a big deal. And it wasn't until afterwards then they discovered who the person was, but by then they were no longer really associated. And so then the new Lufthansa airline they don't have any ties to the former Deutsche Lufthansa airline, in name and in logo only, but they combined Lufthansa to Lufthansa. That's all it is, but they do not associate themselves with the politics of the 1930s. They don't, that's not what they represent. But yeah, I didn't know that when I was reading a bit of the history. White Castle Smallbirds. Ooh. We'll talk about those in just a moment. But yeah, there's only this livery, and then you have two that are like the Microsoft flight simulator, like club thing or something or other. They put a lot of those on, and it's just like really tacky looking, just like ugh. I'd rather that somebody create at least a reasonable looking Junkers airliner livery that's not, there's something that's different for at least for this one. I think on the other one that does have we can tune in a VOR, DME, and all that, but we don't have all this other fancy sort of stuff. But anyway, yes, so changing subjects real quick. So White Castle burgers. My mom is from the Chicago area, and she used to tell us about these White Castles. Now, for a very long time, White Castle, I think the only place you could find them still was in the Chicago area. And then when Costco and all these other sort of super market centers, you know, like you could go in and buy stuff in bulk, somebody started to sell White Castle burgers frozen in bulk at like Costco, or there was another one, Costco and Price Club or something like that. But yeah, there was like a couple different ones that, at least in California, they became like a big thing. But you could get those frozen, and so I think when my mom saw them at Costco or whatever it was, or Price Club, you could, because Sam's Club didn't exist, because back then Walmart didn't exist in California at that point either. But yeah, you could get those. I think you still can, from like, and you might be able to get them from Sam's Club now, or Costco, if Costco's are still open. I think Price Club went out of business. I think in California, Price Club was the first one. Costco showed up, put Price Club almost out of business, and then Sam's Club, once all that kind of came into being, in Walmart, it a lot of those places are struggling. But yeah, but she always talked about those, that, I mean, they're just like, I think the fresh ones are like really greasy, just, but yeah, you can eat like a bunch of them because they're very small. Yeah. I don't have a favorite, because I only had them like once or twice. It wasn't something that I really ate too much of. It was like once in a blue moon, but I don't remember, you know, I don't really think I ever had a taste for them or favorite. But see, that's the interesting thing, is when you take something like that and you add your own, Mr. Adams loves chocolate. I thought you loved KFC, Joseph, not chocolate. Unless there's chocolate KFC, is there? What if you could have chocolate KFC? What would happen, Joseph? And of course, it was White Castle Burgers was the focus of the first Harold and Kumar movie, I believe. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, because they were both basically stoned out of their minds, and sort of like, let's go to White Castle and we'll get all these burgers, and yeah, they had the munchies basically. So yes, Joseph, what if? Let's play the what if game. What if there was chocolate KFC? What would happen, Joseph? Like you had a drumstick and it wasn't chicken, it was chocolate. How would that go for you? Chocolate's good. I found out, now most people kind of like, ugh, but the dark chocolate is, if you're going to eat chocolate, the dark chocolate is supposed to be the best for you, as long as you do it in moderation. A lot of people don't like the dark chocolate. Yeah. Because dark chocolate is usually very bitter in taste. $115 nautical miles to go. Let's see if it's on the list yet. I don't think it would be. Nope, still not close enough. But VIUT Udalari is on the list now. Yeah, dark chocolate. When I took a kitchen chemistry class a couple years back, it was cool because we got to make our own candy, like the hard candy. We got to make ice cream. We got to make beer. We got to make cheese, and we got to make pickles. What else did we make? I think we made chocolate as well. Yeah, originally from the Chicago area. I don't remember exactly where, Milla, but from the Chicago area, yes. I think she grew up there for quite some time, and then moved to California when my grandfather went to work for Montgomery Wards in the Bay Area. So she moved out there with them, I believe. Yeah. Joseph, you still haven't answered my question. What would happen if KFC wasn't chicken, it was chocolate? How would you feel about that? Yeah. I think that's what she did. She moved. I know eventually she ended up in California. But then I think when her and my dad got married, they went back to Alabama for a while. She taught school there, and then they moved back to California because my grandfather got my dad a job at Montgomery Wards because he had gone to school after the Coast Guard and learned about computers, and then so she moved back there, but she didn't teach. She used to be a school teacher. And then when she moved to California, she decided not to be a school teacher at some point. I have to ask her why that was. But it was like grade school teaching. It wasn't like high school or anything like that. But she used to be a school teacher. But if I remember correctly, the story was that they met in California. My dad was stationed at Treasure Island. There's a Coast Guard base on one part of it, and he was stationed there. And then it was like my mom and my grandmother. My mom was a school teacher. My grandmother was she was a housewife. She didn't work. Her job, because that was way back in the day. That's what she did. My grandfather went off to World War II, and so then my grandmother was there to take care of the family, basically. No, my mom, when she went to college, and she got her degree in teaching and was a school teacher for a while. And then when she and my dad got married, I think they went back to Alabama for a little bit, and then she taught in Birmingham, Alabama. And then when they moved to California, because my grandfather helped my dad get a job after he got his gone to school and got a degree in computer stuff or whatever. I don't think it was like computer engineering, but I don't know. I know she taught grade school, but she probably could have if she had enough, if she applied for it. But after a while, I don't know. I have to ask her sometime why she decided not to teach anymore. But I think part of it was, it's not the way she put it to me was there was no money in it really. Uh, you only work so many months out of the year. The summertime, you're kind of left to your own devices, and then so you're not bringing any money year round. Um, but yeah, because I thought about going to become a teacher, like a history teacher, and she was like, no, 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 you don't want to do that. There's no money. And I'm like, well, if I really enjoy it, then the money shouldn't matter. But anyway, um, but yeah, I know she taught grade school, but never high school. But I don't know if she wanted, if that's something that she could have done, quite honestly. All right, 104 nautical miles. We're still plugging along here. We're almost there, folks. But yeah, I think my grandfather got my dad his first job once he got out of it was a technical school. It wasn't it wasn't like a normal community college or anything, or a university. He went to a technical school to learn computer stuff. And the GI Bill. Oh, Milla's already 45 minutes out. Look at that. Milla's just hauling butt. Nothing wrong with that. Mick is there. Shouldn't be too far behind Amilla as far as distance goes. You guys are both way faster than me. That's okay. Yeah, so he worked on computer systems for Montgomery Wards at first, just to get, that was his first job. So but I think if I remember correctly, and I'll have to ask him, because I think he told me when he started, it was the end of the punch card era, where you had there was cards with little pieces cut out that you would slide it in, and that told the computer basically what to do, I think. And then they had, like, there wasn't floppy drives or anything like that. It was like the big tapes or something that they would, and all the stuff was stored on that, I think, like information, because there was no computers were like huge rooms basically. So that's what he worked on at first. I have to ask him, but I think that's what he did. I know he told me, but I'll gotta find out for sure. But that's what he worked on first, and then eventually as computers became digital, and then kind of everything shrunk down, and the computer rooms became smaller and faster and all that. That's what he worked with for. Hold on, just never mind. It's just a yeah, I think that's what, he told me before, but I have to ask him again next time I talk to him. And those were still in the heydays of IBM, because they were responsible for a lot of that technology, I believe. I think he showed me one time when I was visiting him. He showed me he still had a couple of those punch cards somewhere in his collection of stuff or whatever. Um, that's what they were used to. They would feed it into the computer to. But I don't remember what exactly was on the punch card. I don't know if it was like instructions or calculations, or I don't remember what all was on the card, that what it would read off the card with the holes punched out. I just remember at some point when everything became more digital and the computers became faster and everything, he would um, he would get calls in the middle of the night that something wasn't working, and so he would ask the person on the phone, like, okay, what's wrong? What do you see and everything? And so he'd like, okay, I'll come in and take a look, and he would go in there, and it's just that something was unplugged or something was not turned on. So he was not happy that he would get a phone call at 1 or 2 in the morning, and he would go in, and it was just like somebody didn't check all the switches and make sure everything was plugged in. So yeah, he was not too enthused with that sort of numptiness, I guess you could say. All right, 93 nautical miles. Let's see if we are anywhere closer to our... There it is, Jodhpur Air Base. Jodhpur, not Jodhpur. I had to listen to the Jodhpur, the pronunciation. No, 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 no. There we go. I'm listening to that voice, and for whatever reason, I immediately started thinking about Moneyball when they were in the off season and they had to replace Giambi, Johnny Damon, and Isringhausen, and they're in the little conference room, and Brad Pitt's like, la 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 la. That's what it sounded like to me. I might have to watch that movie again today, just for the hell of it. Now, I think when he played baseball, Billy Beane played baseball for the A's, I think he was part of the '89 World Series team. Matter of fact, let's look that up. Which is something they didn't really talk about. Billy Beane. Oakland A's. October 1st, 1989. Yeah. Oh. No, so he signed with the Athletics, appearing in 37 games in 1989. and spent most of the '89 season with the Tacoma Tigers of the Pacific Coast League. He re-signed with the Athletics for the 1990 season. Was sent down to the minor leagues at the end of spring training. So he was not part of the World Series team. Ah, okay. I thought he had been. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So he did not get a World Series ring in '89. I thought he had. Now we know, and know he's out to battle. G.I. Addies. Well, G.I. Joseph. He's a real UK hero. Oh, there's Alpha One. Not sure who that is. Somebody might have joined us. I saw the name. Yeah. No, it's got to be G.I. Joseph. G.I. Joseph is the code name for the UK's top secret agent. He's a mild-mannered mop buyer by day, international man of mystery by night. A little bit of buffering again here on the Twitch channel. Had to get it sorted. All right, 82 nautical miles. Joseph, what are you like? You never answered my question about the chocolate. I'm still waiting for an answer, Joseph. Instead of KFC, if it wasn't chicken, it was chocolate. What? How would you feel about that? What if McDonald's was only chocolate? Instead of a Big Mac, you got a chocolate Big Mac. What if when your mom makes you pie and mash, what if it was a chocolate pie and chocolate mash? Do you think you get tired of chocolate then, Joseph? Or would you still go like, oh, Kit Kat? I can have a Kit Kat once in a blue moon, but not that often. I have to really watch my candy intake. Unfortunately, but or it could be KFC chocolate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if KFC, instead of selling chicken, everything was chocolate? So you have chocolate poppers, or you have instead of chicken strips, you have chocolate strips. Instead of a chicken bowl, you have a chocolate bowl. Take out anything chicken, or anything that just replace everything that KFC sells with chocolate. You think you could handle that, Joseph, or would you get sick of chocolate? Yeah, okay. Good. All right, mix over there, those there, and Alpha One. I'm not sure who that is, but they are at 43,000 feet. Wow, they're pretty high up there. Somebody kind of zipped through here. I'm not sure where they're heading. Definitely tell we're now in the city. Okay. I don't know what well, from what I understood, because I was looking up some information about Jodhpur, um, it's a touristy destination for India. But I don't know, like, it's not like you could fly in the airport there. Now, I'm sure there's probably because I know in India there's a lot, trains are very popular. So you could probably take the train to Jodhpur for if you're going there for a vacation, but I don't think you could fly down there. Or maybe take a bus or something, or if you're able to, you might drive, but there's no way to fly there. At least not that I know of. Because if let me see, hold on a second. Oh, there is a Udaipur. Udaipur. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but there is an airport, actual airport, not far from where we are. Oh, well, it's a pretty good distance, I think. So I think there's a civilian airport, but that's not. Charlie 25 Charlie. What aircraft is that? It's got to be something with the. It's not a Beechcraft. Oh, I don't know. $43,000 feet. That's pretty high. I mean, that's like 747 kind of high. G.I. Joseph, a real UK hero. Now the song's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. Alright, we have 70 nautical miles to go. We don't necessarily have to start slowing down yet. I'm curious, why is this plane now all of a sudden it climbs up and now it's going to, well, see, now it's climbing again. Interesting. Oh, nice, Amela. Okay, so you're not too. Okay. Well, as long as you made it in the end, that's all that matters. Mick might be able to go ahead and get ahead of me and land if he wants. He can get on the loud pedal and head over there. And so, yeah, if you want to zip ahead there, Mick, you're more than welcome to. It's going to take me a while to get to the airport there. Waiting. Oh, no, turn off the runway there, Mella. There should be, no, I don't think I can get the actual chart. Hold on a second. Let me take a look here. Yeah, it's just going to say it exists. Yeah, It's a military airport. Yeah, you can just turn off somewhere, Milla. That's fine. Don't wait on the runway. Might cause Mick to crash. Yeah, Mick, if you wanna zip ahead to the airport, you're more than welcome to. But I still got lots of 67 nautical miles, so we're just kind of still plugging along here. Might be if I don't. Well, there should be like a taxiway somewhere that you could just something that you could turn off, or just turn off to the side of the runway. That's fine. That's what I try to do when I'm flying with Mick. I'll just pull off to the side and wait for him if I have to, or pull off into a taxiway of some kind so that I can keep an eye on him as he's coming in. Okay. Alright, I will start making my, kind of start descending here. We cover a little bit of ground. Once I'll get on the ground, Mick, and give you a hand coming in. Now, if you want, Mick, what you could do is you could start bringing your prop back a little bit to about 80%, so you could feather it to about, and bring it back to about 80, and then that should, as you get a little bit closer, you're going to want to bring it down to about 70, 65, 70, and then that way, and then you're gonna have to keep an eye on your throttle, of course, to make sure you get over the threshold or the runway. But that should minimize the torque, I think. It may still be a little bit of torque, but you might still have, it might be a little bit easier to manage once you're on the ground. Okay, perfect. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Yeah, and just watch your, just Keep an eye on your speed. You'll make it. You got this. If remember, if you're not sure, okay, you can go around. It's all right. You can get an idea if you want to fly over the runway and get an idea before you land and come back around and land. That's perfectly fine. You got more than enough time, and I'm still making my way there. I'm only at 58 nautical miles, so if you want to do a go around, go for it. You need more time to slow the plane down and all that, that's okay. All right. Got one more. I need to take one more quick step away. I'll be right back, folks. Hello, Skip. How are you? Nice to see you here. All right. So we are 48 nautical miles. See, now everybody's coming in to see if I make the landing. We've been streaming for a little over 3 hours, been flying for probably about 2.5-ish. Now everybody comes in at the end. Typical. Just got home from work. I'm doing well, thank you. Yep, we've just been, we took off from Karachi. We're heading to Jodhpur, so Pakistan to India. Just about ready to land here. And no stream tomorrow. Just a quick reminder, folks, do not expect me to be streaming tomorrow. So, yeah, gotta head to a doctor's appointment. So I'm not sure what time I will be home, but no stream tomorrow. We'll be back on Friday, and I will be flying. Oh, I'll show you the plane we'll be flying on Friday. And Nick is right there. Bella already made it on the ground, waiting for us. Yeah, I don't think I'll fly again today. This has been quite a long enough flight, I think. I was thinking about trying to do a second stream, but this will be sufficient. Start getting some flaps down. Start slowing down a bit. I think, let's see, how much farther do we got to go? 42. All right. That one. Nope. All right. Well, either way. It seems like this last bit here is taking forever. Man. You got this, Mick. He's climbing again. What happened, Nick? Climbing. Oh, now it's showing differently. Nope, still climbing. Now you're definitely climbing. What are you doing, Nick? I thought you were on a final approach there. Yeah, it's weird. It's like it shows you climbing and then back down. And it's I don't know what. Did you go to the other side of the airport then, Mick? Whatever the opposite of 05, runway 05 is. I kind of feel like that's what you might have done. You go to runway 23, possibly. I'm not sure where you went. think he went for runway 23. Now he's descending again. I don't know what you're up to, Mick. Or are we having another issue with the simulator again? Now it looks like he's going in for landing. It's very difficult because it always seems like, I don't know if you're flying away from me, flying towards me, or it's kind of hard to figure out where in relation you are to me in the air. I think you're on the other side of the airfield, so I'm thinking you're going in for runway 23. Oops. I think Amela left. Amela might have timed out, or, oh, nope, there's Amela still. Okay. Never mind. Nice. Oh, nice. Good. Glad to hear it, Mick. All right. Now I have to make it. Nice and safe. We used them. Now 43%. If we had to go around, we could, in theory, if we absolutely had to. If necessary, but we're going to get on the ground here in just a moment, folks. Thank you all again for coming in today, hanging out. Curious to see how long the flight lasted. I think we're going to be at about 2.5 hours. So I don't know why, and I'd like to know why Why did it think that it would take 5 hours for us to do this flight? What gave it that sort of indication that it would take us 5 hours to cover 329 nautical miles? So what I'm trying to do here is the magenta line here, that takes us directly to that VOR DME that we're tuned into. But I want to try to go out this way a little bit and then turn into our runway with 05. Hmm. 6:17 in the afternoon. Right, I think we can go away with this now. We need our pattern and then we're all set. Oh, there's the pattern right there. Ta-da! Ask and you shall receive. Alright folks, I'm going to turn the laptop to the side here while I'm on approach so I don't get distracted. I will catch up with the chat once we are on the ground. Put all the lights on. Everybody knows we're coming in for landing now. Boy, the wind has certainly been a bit of a challenge today. Not keep on a steady track at all for any period of time. There still seems to be these little gusts, even though we have clear skies. The wind itself seems to have its own agenda. We got the seal of approval from Joseph. Oh, the voices are back. Yay. I don't know when that happened, but okay. Well, yeah, there's quite a city here. Interesting. Oop, little bounce, little bounce, little bounce. Not too bad. All right, there we are. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Jodhpur, India. Local time is 6:17 in the evening. Oh, nope, that cannot be right. It is 6:48 in the evening. No, 8:18 p.m. I'm sorry. Boy, I am way off. We understand, appreciate the fact that you have a ton of options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures, and we are glad that you chose to fly with us today. Do not join us tomorrow. We will not be flying. I will see you all Friday. I'll show you the plane. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, Mella's been here. Mella got here before I did, and then Mick, and then me. They were flying in much faster planes. Oh, I'm going to the fuel box. Yeah, Bella's been here for quite some time. All right, well, at least we made that. Little bump. Wasn't perfect. I was hoping for a perfect landing, but we had a little bit of a bump there at the end. That's okay. Well, thank you both for sticking around to complete the flight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think we're crossing over to the side where Mela is. It says we're crossing over runway 23, so we've got to be crossing over here somewhere. I think our parking is somewhere over there. It says we're going over runway 23, but I don't know where. I'm guessing we have to go all the way to the end there? Mel, if you want to scoot across and to this taxiway right here and join up, we could do that. Mick's going right, he's parking right there. Yeah, if you want to come over and park near us, Amilla. Yeah, see, it's saying going all the way over to yonder. I think I'm going to do like Mick did, and I'm just going to park right over here. And we can, hopefully Amilla comes over and joins us. We'll try to, I can see you. You're still sitting on the run over there on the taxiway, Amilla. Oh, on the other side. But yeah, we're not going to taxi all the way over to that parking spot or to the fuel. We're just going to park right here. I don't know if did you time out a minute? Like did you not move or anything and then it just kind of kicked you? Hold on a second. Let me have a look. Nope, it says you're still here. Still in the group. Oh, no, maybe not. Hold on, let me re-invite you to the group. I think you timed out. Yeah, I think you timed out on the... There you go. Mick is right there, although his aircraft now has... Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you just want to park right there between us, Amilla, more than welcome to. All right, let me get a group shot here. Although it's not showing the correct aircraft, but that's okay. Oops. How about we do it this way? There we go. Showing me as an 8, yeah, because you don't. Neither one of you have the Junkers 52. I think that's why. And let's get the batteries. 1, 2. Yeah, that's why I'm on. 3 hours and 7 minutes. Still not too bad. Better than 5 hours. Much better than 5 hours. That is for sure. Let me put that in real quick. In my tracker, 030706. Perfect. All right. All right, let me go back to the main menu and I'll show you guys the plane for Friday. So if you want to find a floater plane, this is what I'm going to be flying. Neither one of you have this aircraft, but there are plenty of floater planes, available. If you have a you can pick one, but we are going to be flying in. Where'd it go? There we are, right there. Bird Dog Amphibian. I'll probably fly in the... Ooh, maybe the Italian Amphibian. Ooh, I kind of like that idea. So it's going to look like this. That's going to be our plane for Friday. That one right there. But there's other, I think the Cessna 172 has floaters. Floater, you can use that. Right, or, well, you don't have that one. You can, there's this one, you can fly that, the A5. If you have the base game, you can use that one, or you can use the this one, the Cessna 172 floats. I think that's the only ones that you might have. I don't think you have the Zlin Aviation one, but at least you got the Cessna 172 floaters, the float planes, that one or that one. So if you want to fly either one of those, you're more than welcome to. That's what I'm going to be flying on Friday. So, yeah, fun little plane. So that will be it for today, folks. I do greatly appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out, and we will be back Friday, 7:10 Eastern, 11:10 UTC, 12:10 UK. In the didn't turn off. You find the battery button, Amela. How do you hold on a second. Let me swap planes. You are in the G36. I'll show you where. It is right there. Okay. Let me just pop in on a runway here, and I can show you, or just on a. There we go, right there. Departure. The battery button. I'll show you real quick. So if you hit your right bumper and the left on the D-pad, that will shut your engine off. Sometimes it'll click the battery, but not always. Okay. So you either have to turn off the battery or the avionics. Either one should end your flight. But let me see if I can pop in here real quick and have a look. It's been a while since I've flown the G36, so I don't remember where everything is. But basically, let's see. So there's your avionics master. You can just flip that off, or these two switches right here for your battery. I'll wait for it to catch up before I know that you're okay. So sometimes you turn off your avionics master or your batteries. Sometimes you turn off your batteries and your avionics, and it'll end the flight basically. Yep. I just want to make sure. It's like way behind on the stream. Let me make sure it's showing in the flight deck here. Yeah. So both of those, you have to switch both batteries off or the avionics, and that should do it. Okay, there you go. That will do it for today, folks. I will see you all on Friday in the Bird Dog amphibian version. Do enjoy the rest of your Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening, early Thursday, depending on where you are in the world. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Thank you all again for coming in and hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Until Friday, peace, live long and prosper.